February 26th. This is, oh, Monica, you had a question to kick us off?
Hey everyone, so stoked to be here and to be able to catch the live because normally I have to catch the replays. It's full school getting ready time. But in a nutshell, I have just launched and yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. The world domination that I was expecting in my first week has sadly not happened just yet.
Hmm.
But I am doing as much as I can to move the needle. I have watched your launch masterclass as well as being in the space for about 3 years learning previously. So, just to give you a bit of background, the product I've launched and it's two variations, they're actually just two really popular products that I've bundled together in kit form. So, I've got the actual primary product and I've added an art component that you apply to the main product that's probably in every home in the world just about to decorate it and to personalize it and customize it. So it's good for kids and teens. Totally new to market. So I have been targeting the actual primary product keywords because I thought that would be the most buyer intent and so that's what I've targeted, and I've done really well. I'm ranking organically on page one for a lot of my keywords, and I don't know if that's just because of the honeymoon or if that's normal. But in terms of my PPC, so I was aiming for $100 spend per day per ASIN to try and crank it. And I've so far spent $340.20 in about 4 days since I've launched between the two products. So out of that, I've had 180,374 impressions, 110 clicks. Average cost per click is $3.09. My click-through rate is 0.06. So obviously I've got a click-through rate and conversion issue, and I'm just trying to work out. I split tested my main image before launching using PickFu, and I went with the image that 80% of people loved and raved about. The one thing I would say about my main image is that there's a lot going on. There's the main product and the kid sitting on that product. And then there's sort of in the to the side all the components of my art kit that are sort of applied to be used on that main product. I
Mhm.
don't know if I'm targeting the wrong keywords. So instead of targeting buyer intent for the main product, perhaps I should be targeting more keywords with the art component because they're people who are looking to use that tie-dye kit to use on the other main product, or I'm just trying to sort of muddle my way through. Initially, I launched with a 30% off coupon, which I spoke to a few sellers and they thought maybe that was a good thing to apply. But the problem I found with that is that my price looked really high compared to everyone else, even with the 30% off coupon. And
Right.
I just thought visually, if people are missing the little coupon bit underneath or they're on mobile, it was still putting me about $20 higher than sort of the average price point. So now
Right.
we've gone into more, I'm pretty much priced it to break even currently just to get things happening.
So you lowered the price and then reduced the coupon again?
No, we've scrapped the coupon altogether. So now we're just having the lower price. So I'm just trying to sort of test things not all at once so I can identify what are the issues one at a time, or happy to be instructed otherwise.
Yeah, so you scrap the coupon. I would still put the coupon on slightly, right? If you're below the market and you're at break even, then so the question is, you added an art element to a product that's pretty standard, and has anyone else proven that there's demand for that? Because I've seen that before in the toy space where people do like, any given toy or house product, but they say like paint it yourself or like a DIY design thing. And they tend to have a lower performance than just buying the thing that people want with the design they already want on it. So the assumption you made was that who wouldn't want to do this thing? It's fun and the kids can do it and it's a project and they need it anyway. And it makes sense to me that like that logic, but at the same time, like it doesn't always transfer over that way. Were there
Okay.
any other competitors that are already in that exact field that were already converting well or doing really well or ranked well?
I am fully out there on my own, pioneering landing on the moon.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I think that I know that you did some testing on the content side.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe the demand is just a little bit lower. You're ranked on the first page. Your click-through rate's a little bit lower because people aren't interested in that solution and that project, right? They want just the regular product. Um, and that's okay. Your click-through rate's not unreasonable for something that is design specific. It could be a little bit better maybe with content. Did the click-through rate go up since you lowered the price a little bit? I imagine it did.
Um, I can't tell you straight off the bat, sorry.
Okay.
I'd need to, um, yeah, I'd need to go back and look at that. Where,
I would also see about targeting some of those DIY art tie-dye keywords.
yeah,
Um, get those added into the listing, make sure you're tracking them, and then make sure you're indexed for them,
yeah,
and see if there are some generic larger keywords. This might end up being a product where you find your lane and your lane is smaller, the market is smaller, the demand is smaller than you thought, and that's okay.
yeah,
And maybe instead of 15 sales a day, you're making three, and you just kind of sell through in 6 months instead of two or three, and at profitably. And then you decide whether that's enough for you to expand the line, whether that's okay, whether you try a different style, different colors, different things, and you kind of bump that from two or three a day to seven a day with a few variations. And maybe that's okay at a high dollar price point, right? And you're making 10, $15 a sale. And you're like, you know what? It's something, but I'm gonna now focus on the next project. And that happens for us to us on a regular basis, right?
yeah,
Um,
okay.
I've got an entire line of products where I sell anywhere from 2 to 15 a day. And some variations just naturally do better than others, some styles, designs, whatever. But I've got 20 of those. And then that's like $3,000 a day in revenue and hundreds of dollars a day in profit. So I was able to kind of I decided to build up into that niche a little bit and take more of that market, but the market itself was small
Yeah,
and like a $60 average price point or something. So I think it's okay to do that if that's, but it's okay also to abandon it. If you just, have proven that the demand for that is just smaller, or that there's education required that you don't want to spend money to provide to people. Maybe this is a TikTok thing. Maybe you get some TikTok influencers that have a lot of followers that you can find on like Join Brands or one of those other services where you can find influencers to do a TikTok video for you.
yeah. That's UGC is my main priority just after trying to rejig my main image. I'm also working with IntelliV. I did split test using PickFood previously, but I'm liaising with those guys now and I'll get some more insights.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the insights from IntelliView will be a little bit deeper because you can ask more focused questions versus do you like A, B, C, or D, right? Um,
yeah,
in order. So their methodology is a little bit deeper in that way. I use both, like between the two of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I use PickFu and IntelliV. They each have different use cases, but IntelliV is going to be where you want to be. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I've been developing this product for the last year or so, doing lots of R&D on it, and I see what it brings people and they love it, etc. It's just getting, I've got no reviews, people have never seen it. It's, but I believe once I can get a bit of creator content and some reviews that I hopefully should be able to crank it. I don't know, maybe I'm just being naive, but
No, it's okay. I think that it's a numbers game in many ways. And maybe there's a different main image style that can convey what your product is.
yeah,
That does get a slightly higher click-through rate. Maybe it's like you're at a tipping point, right? And you're very, very close to hitting that number that you need to make a big difference in conversion, which makes a big difference in keyword ranks, which starts to generate more traffic. Like you could go from a few sales
yeah,
a day to 10 sales a day with a slight change. I see it happen all
great.
the time. So
Awesome. That's what I'm aiming for. There was just one thing I was going to ask you, and what was it? No, it's just gone now. No, all good. Thank you. I really appreciate your input as always.
yeah, no worries. Um, Hiba,
Hey Brandon, how are you doing?
good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I have a couple questions about PPC for launch and then just a question about variations for launch. Um, for variations, if you're launching, so I'm launching a product, all the same product, just different sizes. Is it best practice to keep all of the title and bullets the same? That's been kind of maximized in ranking juice, like everything is like squeezed out of it, to have like the top keywords in every single listing all the exact same, or is there a benefit to alternating titles and bullets for each of the listings, even though they're the same product? Like, do we max out ranking juice, or should we try alterations between the three?
So it's not all subcategories allow you to change the titles. For example, clothing, I don't think does.
So
But
mine will allow it.
yeah, when it allows it, I'm a big fan of using different titles. Here's the reason. What I do is I see every single variation after you've established relevancy for the listing. Every single ASIN or variation has its own keyword ranks. And so the point of building keywords into a title is to try to maximize your ranking potential on a keyword. But you're already ranking, you already want your hero to rank for the hero keywords. You want the one that's most likely to convert, most likely to get sales or clicks, most likely to get traffic into your listing and convert. So the medium black one, right? Or the whatever it is. But if you have a pink one, you don't want to write the same title targeting the same keywords because you're neglecting the keywords that this one can rank on that will actually get clicks, which are the pink keywords, the girl keywords. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. What is your opinion on grouping similar products as variations versus taking up real estate, like and having separate listings?
So it's worth a try if you feel. So there's two factors. One is, can the standalone product or variation get enough click-through rate and conversion rate and market share to rank organically to make it a traffic source, take up real estate, and to beat the competitors that are out there, a percentage of them at least. That's one thing. The other is, will the breaking up of the listing dilute and hurt the blended conversion of the main listing that you know has a hero, or will it help it? So generally, when you get to 4 or 5 variations, the blended average of the conversion rate goes up because people feel satisfied for shopping. And so
Mm-hmm.
we see that the 4, 5, 6 variations and more, you will actually rank more easily and sell more and increase profitability. But if you have two potential heroes, then you might need to build two families out underneath them or around them somehow. So it really depends on the niche, and
Yeah,
it's
my niche, the competitors are doing separate listings. I was thinking about combining them initially just so you can get Vine reviews on all of them and, to have all the reviews initially and then potentially breaking them up later. My concern in the beginning was, though, if we're running PPC, we're going to be running against ourselves, right, on three different listings. And then it might affect conversion because they might click on one listing but want like a different size. So I thought in the beginning it might be better to just launch it with a variation and consider breaking later.
yeah, if it's a size thing, you probably maybe you keep them together, but if it's a color thing, then you wouldn't get as many of those errant clicks as possible because if the main image looks the same, then I can see your concern. But if it's obviously a different style,
Mhm.
then generally that doesn't happen. People will just click on the style that's most attractive to them. They might not even notice, even though you can make your image like uniform and like try to get your branding in there to make it so that people see your brand, see your brand, they finally go with your brand. Just
Mhm.
reinforces it's like there's a psychological impact on people when they see you more than once because it becomes more
Yeah.
familiar and somehow more it increases your validity.
Yeah, we experienced that with a different product. We were concerned about a secondary product we were launching cannibalizing the sales of the first. But actually, by launching that, both sales increased by having it show up multiple times on the detail page. So yeah, I've also experienced that. Okay, great. So as far as just a couple PPC for launch questions, and then I'll be out of your hair. For PPC for launch, I went through the course that you have on the private label 2.0. I just wanted to clarify, are you running PPC right away, like the first day that the listings go live? Because you don't have any reviews.
Yeah, immediately you want to be sending traffic because you don't have any other way to send signals to Amazon. So no reviews is fine. If you're converting with no reviews, then you're doing something right and like you should be. You should still make sales. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to send traffic to rank. And because click-through rate, conversion rate, add to carts, actions, and some kind of sales and revenue are how Amazon ranks you. Now they're more forgiving because you're building up the history and the performance with your honeymoon. But if you wait too long, you lose your honeymoon and it becomes much harder to rank later. So
Okay.
you can't do both, like wait for reviews and
But
then start.
isn't your conversion rate going to be pretty bad without any reviews? It's better to run it and have low conversion than not run anything at all.
It shouldn't be, but you can also offset that by lowering your price a little bit, putting a higher
Mm-hmm.
coupon, incentivizing in some way. But if you've done your homework, designed the product, got great content, and you don't need to be that much below the market.
Okay. Fair. And then I just wanted to clarify the structure of the PPC launch. You're going to be doing route targeting in the beginning, so just the routes, and it's going to phase out as exact routes, and then a few days later, broaden phrase, and then a few days later, auto. Is that correct?
Yeah, so day one, I'm trying to immediately launch with a bunch of exact to send the strongest, exact at the most relevant keywords to send the strongest signal to Amazon of what we're selling and get the strong indexing. So you want to make sure you're covering every route with the best keywords that are the most relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you start to see any clicks, like click-through rate and activity and your ad showing up, then you can kind of move towards broad and phrase and auto.
With the broaden phrase, are you doing the roots broaden phrase, or are they like keywords that are broaden phrase?
So we're doing roots, but they have to be relevant roots.
But
So
like, for example, if you have the root is um if the root is like too vague, it's gonna pull up like a bunch of
right.
like garbage.
Yeah, you
So
don't want you need to go down a level a lot of times. So like even with something as like a toiletry bag, for example, you don't want to be at just toiletry bag. You want to be
mhm.
at like felt toiletry bag or canvas toiletry bag or
Okay,
right?
so it's not just the root because like the data dive tool for the launch like breaks down the root as like just one word, which is like so vague. So that's what I was confused on. Do you like
Yeah,
specify
we
it,
didn't.
make it a little
So
more
we're
long
trying
tail?
to. Yeah, we're so those are important for you to know. Like so, it's basically search frequency of words, but you kind of want to ignore the things that if you search it's not going to show your product. Like that's the best way to explain it.
Okay.
So like I wouldn't consider toiletry to be a good route for toiletry bag because like I'm not showing up on toiletry, right?
Okay.
Or just bag. Bag isn't good either,
Yeah.
right? So I think that it would be like um shaving bag, men's shaving bag, travel bag, hanging bag, like those travel bags aren't good enough either.
Would the hanging bag be the root word or does that become a long tail keyword? Like what's the difference between a keyword and a root?
So root is just a keyword, like a part of many keywords that you see repeated over and over again. So have you seen the new keyword tracker, the way that we break it down?
I just recently like enrolled in it. So
Yeah, so you have
I've
to
been
get a
trying,
little bit
I
of
guess
history.
I'm just trying to understand the difference between like you're saying hanging toiletry bag would be the root word, but the root would be toiletry bag, but we're not going to run
No, no,
just
no. So like you
toiletry.
can have, if you have 10 keywords with hanging toiletry bag in it, then hanging toiletry bag is a root.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be one of the keywords is the root. So it can be both.
Okay.
Uh,
And
let me see.
then later on, like day 3 to 7 in the presentation, you said that you're gonna start targeting broaden phrase uh keywords from after you've launched the exact keywords, you're gonna add broaden phrase. Are you just adding the exact same routes that you have ran exact campaigns on in broaden phrase?
Yeah, essentially, I'm now going down through my list and I'm trying to pick all of the relevant. So let me pull up this example here. This is a diaper bag. So this is one of the best-selling diaper bags on Amazon. Let's say that this is my product, right? So what we were just talking about is when you're going to launch a broad and phrase campaign, you wouldn't target diaper bag. It's just too big of a route, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is separated right now in the tracker by route. So this is by keyword, and you can see all of the keywords by search volume here in the ranking. But when you go, and so you have diaper bag backpack, diaper bags, baby bag, right? All the way down. But if I want to, where I find it the best opportunity to optimize is by route. Because when you target trying to fix a route, you can target 10 keywords with that route, and then all of them impact each other and help each other. So you get an amplified impact of your PPC spend. But
Mm-hmm.
if I target one key, if I want to try to fix one keyword and then another one that's not related and then another one that's not related, then I'm just doing 3 times the work. And it's going to be a lot heavier to lift it. So let's say that I wanted to improve let's see, boy is too broad. Baby boy. Boy seems bad. Let me see. Bag, baby boy, diaper bag. This one. Diaper bag baby boy. I'm ranked 52 at the root level. Let's see what's happening. So I go down and I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keywords. Most of them long tail. Now this is an older example because I was tracking this. I would have to update this, but now we go to 450. You'll see here that this keyword, diaper bags for baby boy with changing pad, I'm barely indexed or not indexed at all. It's a longer
Mm-hmm.
tail keyword. It's a very long tail keyword. But I've also got rank 17, 33, and 27. These are telling me that I've got a lot of work to do. I don't really have this. This one specifically is Batman. It shouldn't even be tracked, so I'm going to pause it. But diaper bag for baby boy is a good keyword, and I'm only in the 20s. So as a whole, I'm seeing that I'm struggling. The one thing that's common here is the word boy, right? So if I look at the patterns here, anything with boy in it, I'm not indexing as strong as the big keywords. So I would need to go find my listing and so the strategy is this. Number one, fix your conversion rate. Number two, fix your indexing. Number three, send more or less traffic, right? Then you fix traffic. So in step one, I'm looking at this, and let's assume that this image and that my listing is maximized for conversion. It's perfect, right? I've already done all of that. A/B tested, tried new images, really, really test. This is everything you should be doing in the first week to 2 weeks. You should be trying multiple main images. You should be playing with price points as a lever. You should really, really, really be testing probably at least 4, 5, 6 main images. Once
Mm-hmm.
you find the one that you've dialed in as your conversion rate, then you can move to indexing. Now, within that first week, you'll see that you'll have some keywords where you're 101. 101 means Amazon doesn't think you're selling that product at all. They don't think it's relevant at all. You'll find some keywords that are on the first page. Those are moving in the right direction. That's probably okay. Then you'll find ones in the 40s and 50s. That's where Amazon is thinking that it could be relevant, but probably isn't. They're not sure, but they're not going to give you enough credit. So you need to go find out where in your listing you're writing that. So if I go look at this guy's listing, and click on this, I think.
And while that's loading for the titles, when you're switching out and testing different titles, what is a good way to decide which word to take out to test in another one? Because you have, limited amount of space, something has to leave in order for something to come.
Yeah, so you'll look at your performance. So the other thing that you need to be looking at is like which this one does not have. Let me see. So here's the problem. I'm going to see if I can find you an
So I'm
example.
assuming if you're ranking well for a keyword, do you want to remove it or you don't? If you don't remove it, you might stop ranking, or is it that you've already ranked, so now you can switch it out? Like, what's the structure behind keyword swapping in those first few weeks for a rank?
So you need to prioritize where your performance is, and then you need to prioritize where your ranks are. So you need to look at both. So maybe I can give you maybe I can pull up a product that has the performance. So what matters and why we built this the way we did is because you need to see your performance on each of these keywords and routes in order to make better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see something. But anyway, like the whole point was that boy is not in here near the keywords it needs to be,
Mm-hmm.
which is why they're struggling with boy.
Yeah, so they would go and add the word boy into their title or their bullets or something.
If it's important enough, they would try
Yeah.
to put it in the title, right? And so like they're clearly just not doing a good job. This is why all the boy keywords are struggling. Now this is the best selling type of bag on Amazon, and they're still doing something wrong, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of being able to see when you can see these patterns at the root level. It really shows you, okay, this whole line is underperforming. Why is that? And then again, it's girl. So they have the same problem with girl and with boy. They just don't have girl and boy written into here at all. And they should. The pink one should say for baby girl, right? And the blue one should say for boy. And as a blend, they should, that maybe they can get some if the pink one would convert better for baby girl keywords and the blue one would convert better for boy, maybe that's the way to do it, but they have to test that too. Maybe the gray one still does better for boy and girl. Who knows?
Yeah.
So let me pull up this other example. Oh, no. This is at the root level, I think. Yeah, root level.
If you take a keyword out of your title that you were ranking well for before, it's quite possible that you'll stop ranking for it, right?
It's possible, but if you put it somewhere else where maybe you don't need to have it in your title because it's relative to your competition. So having it in your title maximizes rank potential. But if your competitors don't have that exact keyword in their title either, then you might not need it in your title to beat them because then it's relative based on performance. So
That's why you can swap out keywords in the beginning because it's more about indexing
yeah,
than
exactly.
it is ranking at
It's
least the
more
title.
about
The title's for
outranking
indexing.
competition. Now, this is also why if you put those variation specific keywords in the variation titles, then you will outperform your competitors usually because all things relative, you're performing similarly, but you now have more rank potential because you've unlocked a higher level because you put it in the exact form in the title, which is the highest potential. So this one has, this is at the root level, right? And once you look at the data, you can really start to see why you're performing better or worse. So impression rank and impression share and conversion rate are the two big things I'd be looking at here. Let's see here. If I'm top 10, 10, 10, you'll see that my conversion rate is the best on these keywords. And then, but you'll see that there's an opportunity for me to spend more money on them to push them into the top 3, right? So why am I not in the top 3 for their keyword that seems to be ranking, seems to be doing well? Let me see. So here's at the keyword level. What you'll see here is I've got some keywords where I'm number 4, my impression share is better. I'm at 27% in top 4. I'm ranked number 4. That makes sense, right? These didn't update. I should have cut this over so you could see the previous day because it didn't finish updating for the day. I cut this early in the day. But where I'm 26, even very little data here on this keyword, and it's a long tail keyword. But I'm only 8th in impression rank with only 2.1%. So this is telling me that I'm not spending enough money on this keyword at all. It has a lot of potential. So as a whole, this route is made up of a lot of keywords. It converts well. Some keywords convert better than others, but there's a direct correlation between how much traffic I'm sending and my performance to where I rank. So this data really can tell you where to spend more or less money in order to push your keyword ranks. So you've got to break it down to a granular level like this to make PPC decisions.
Sure. But how does that translate over to choosing what to put in and out of the title during the testing phase?
So you'll see if I go back to the root level, let's say that this root right here, I'm only 37. My conversion rate's a little bit lower than the average of my others. I need to find out why. Is it a relevancy thing? Is there a keyword in here that's bringing the average down that isn't relevant? I need to look deeper. But being in the 30s tells me that there's an indexing issue, even though I'm performing okay. And this is a pretty big keyword. I also see that for some of these keywords, I have 24% total combined impression share, which isn't bad. So this is an immediate opportunity for me based on the historical performance of the rest of these keywords. I know that I've dialed in my conversion rate. I can see right away that this keyword, and this keyword root, they might all be related. It might be boy, diaper bag for boy, baby bag for boy, baby diaper bag for boy, right? They might all be the same problem that I need to solve. But there is an issue with the indexing on these 3. And then I can see if there's a pattern. And then that's to me a strong indication that I need to put this in my title to improve the indexing and then kick this up a notch.
Yeah, that I understand. Like it's a little more straightforward to pick what should be added. How do you pick what should be removed in order to make space for what should be added?
Most of the time you're wasting space with a keyword that doesn't matter. You're not performing on it. Maybe you tried to represent like a very vague term or something much more like a broad concept, like, you know, what would it, baby registry gifts or something. And it's just like one big, huge potential keyword that if it's stuck, it would be awesome. You can kind of just remove those. Or you have a selling point in there that's not a real keyword. So there's going to be something or something with it that's a lot less relevant. Like if you scroll down this list even further, then you're going to find really long tail ones, and you can just take one of those out.
Okay. All right. And then you already answered this, but just to clarify one more time, if you have a keyword that you are ranking well for and you removed it out of your title, it's not, you won't necessarily lose rank. The title is more so for indexing. If you're indexing and you're making sales in it, just because you remove it for the title from the title, it won't necessarily make a difference.
Yeah, it might not. I've seen where, because again, it's relative to your competition. So you can remove something from the title as long as you put it somewhere else in your listing that still has a high enough grade, bullets or back-end search terms maybe, and you can still index and get credit for it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Enough credit to maintain like a top 10 rank.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Good luck. Arnov,
Hey Brandon, how's it going?
good man. How's everything going with you?
Good, good. About to relaunch next week and then launching another product in 2.5 weeks. So I'm excited.
That's exciting. I love it.
Yeah, I had a couple questions about um general, like one about PPC and then some about in general that I asked 2 weeks ago. So I guess jumping off the PPC train, I was wondering, how do you evaluate how competitive the PPC is when you're doing product selection? Seeing, are these competitors really aggressive with it or not? Because I would assume
Yeah.
that'd be a pretty big factor,
Data
right?
dive started including like estimated bid.
Right.
Um,
I guess how do you like look at that? Because I don't think I've seen any videos where we talked about it too much
right,
about understand like, yeah, it's red is red, but how bad is that, right?
right. So it's on our roadmap to add the ad rank next to the keyword rank. And then
Oh, okay.
in the new niche tracker, so on the master keyword list, you're going to see organic rank and ad rank for all your competitors. Ad rank's a lot more dynamic and bounces around, but at least you would see how often they're running ads and how much is on page one and what percentage is top of search. So we would just consider anyone in the top three as top of search. So then we'll add columns there so you can see how aggressive your competitors are with ads. That's on our roadmap and a very, very big request for me to build in because I want to see that visually to see how competitive my competitors are being, right? Like exactly what you're asking. In the meantime,
Right.
in the meantime, you kind of just have to look at the uh the cost per click, I think is a good indicator.
Okay. So then in terms of launch, you would assume you would have your CPC 2 times that on the suggested bid
Yeah,
range.
I mean 1.5 to 2 times is going to be usually enough. But if it's
And
not,
then
you have to be more aggressive than that.
and then what would be, when you're maintaining, what would that CPC look like usually?
Hopefully, if you performed well, it'll be below the suggested. You get rewarded
Okay.
if it's actually performing.
Okay, I see. Okay. Um, and then I was wondering, I've been doing my A/B testing, but do you recommend any people for packaging or like designing the box and the labels for my product? Because I'm doing okay, but the number one competitor is still just crushing me on IntelliV test. And it's weird because, we're basically doing like a cosmetic, and they claim all natural, but I bought it and it's like not natural at all. And ours is actually all natural, but it's so hard to convey
Yeah,
that properly.
there's a guy on
It
TikTok that
just
I
makes me
follow.
mad.
Yeah, of course. There's a guy on TikTok that I follow that he does marketing and he does packaging design and redesign. And I think he's for hire, which is really funny because I was going to suggest Amazing Listers, who's really good. They're not the
Okay.
cheapest, but they do really good work. But there's a guy on TikTok that I follow, and he gives examples all the time where he'll redo the packaging for like Coca-Cola, right? And almost all the unhealthy foods, he did like Oreo and Coca-Cola and all these unhealthy, like all this garbage, and he uses all natural a lot because it's not regulated.
Right.
It's
Wow,
like,
that's okay. That sucks. Um,
yeah,
could I put
you made me
USDA
think.
in my title?
I wonder what that guy's. I'm gonna actually go
Right.
TikTok packaging redesign all natural. Coca-Cola. Let's see. This guy comes up. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. Matt Rosenman.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I'll link to him right now.
Rebrand Coke to sound like a health food.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm gonna change up the colors. from
This
the
is a
normal
great
Coke
lesson. I
color.
mean, this is worth office hours for me to like just share this.
Sparkling cola makes it sound a little bit fancy.
Yeah, I'm looking at this guy.
Need anything? Just need.
Okay. I don't know if my sound will come through if I share this, but give me a second. Like you guys can let me know if my sound comes through because this is such a great lesson that I think just from a marketing and branding standpoint. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Rebrand Coke to sound like a health food.
Can you guys hear
Here
it?
we go. I'm gonna change up the colors from the normal.
Yeah.
Coke used to, and I'm gonna call this product Thrive Sparkling Cola. Sparkling Cola makes it sound a little bit fancier, and Thrive doesn't need to mean anything, it just needs to feel a little bit healthy and light. Coke has high fructose corn syrup, but it's actually considered natural. The FDA regulation of the word natural is very loose, and Coke lists natural flavors in the ingredients, so we'll say with natural flavors. We need a healthy-ish sounding flavor name. Let's call this Caramel Gold Bliss. And of course, Coke is 100% plant-based. Since Coke has caffeine, let's say smooth energy at the top, and we need to liven up this packaging a little bit. So let's add a beautiful golden landscape. The Coke logo itself will be hidden somewhere else on the can, and I didn't want to make this too crowded. So in our ad, we'll say gluten-free and low sodium, both are true. And there you have all natural, healthy Coca-Cola.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
There you go. That's the power of marketing and getting a good packaging guy. So yeah, you have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll look into amazing listers. And then I was wondering, in terms of how much does the consumer care if you show the product box in the listing, but you don't actually sell the product box?
Oh, if it doesn't come with a box at all, that would be a problem. I
Okay, like if
try to make sure you actually have a box if you show a box.
oh, okay, I see. I heard from some people that with supplements, at least, like no one cares about the product box and things like that. Not sure how true that is.
Right. Here's the link to the guy. It's Mark Rose. Someone just asked who it was. Matt Rosenman. Yeah. Can reach out to him. I think he does work. That's the whole point of like showing what he does, I guess. Yeah, they do care how the product looks a lot. Yeah,
I
so
see. Okay.
yeah.
Right. And then I had a question about cash flow. How do you normally do your cash flow for your products when you're figuring out, this is your landed cost, your fees are this much, and you get the like how detailed do you go into, and how do you do that quickly with products and things like that?
So estimated velocity times landed cost and then times two is like the best, easiest and fastest formula. It's quick and dirty. So COGS times estimated velocity for 3 months. Like I use 3 months is kind of standard for me because I ship everything from China. Your product's made in the US, is that right?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, so lead time at the factory plus delivery time and check-in time at Amazon. So if it's 2 weeks lead time and 2 weeks to check in, then you need 30 days. And then you want to have your buffer. You want to have now I'm telling everyone 45 to 60 days inventory just because of the new low inventory fees and placement and all this stuff. So I'd say, let's say a minimum of 6 weeks of inventory on top of that. So now you're at 2.5 months of inventory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you have a seasonal product, or there's a season, because it sells throughout the year, but then it becomes seasonal, in June or something. Um, do
Right.
you try to like figure out like how far and how accurate are you able to predict all that?
So the strategy there would be to go look at competitors and see what their BSR dips to during that time. So the
Oh, I see.
subcategory is pretty stable usually, or the top line category is usually pretty stable. So sports and outdoors will basically stay similar. I mean, outdoors is a bad example because summer is better, right? Home and kitchen is a good example. Outside of like holiday, like Q4, um, you'll see that your competitors will go from a baseline of 8,000 BSR on average to 2,000 during that time. The entire category didn't go up in velocity. It's just that those competitors that are good for that time of year moved up because the demand for that specific type of product went up. Does that make sense? And then you can,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then you can kind of look at Jungle Scout and say, okay, during June, this BSR does this much velocity per day.
Oh,
That
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good. Actually, within Data Dive, if you go to Deep Dive, we show it to you as well because we pull it from Keepa, and then you can see your sales per day during that time, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I've been using that. And then last question that I had was, so I'm going to be entering into like kind of like a baby niche. And what's sort of the strategy or game plan? Let's say, for example, if I was selling lipstick or the niche is lipstick, but then the baby niche is uh like Korean lipstick, which is, let's just say that was unsaturated and untapped. And I'm entering into there. How would you sort of grow once you have your dominance in that niche? How would you grow into maybe other niches? Like if you wanted to go into herbal lipstick and then go into the parent niche of just lipstick.
Yeah, I think starting longer tail is better, like because you have to become one of the best sellers. To get into become a dominant player in the general, you need to find out whether your specialty is demanded by everyone at a higher rate than most of the other competitors. So I'll give you an example. Um, so the example of lipstick might be pretty good. You have L'Oreal and you have all these major competitors that are in the space. And then you have General Red and General Colors, and you have cheap options. Those are going to convert the best. Now you've got a specialty with, like you said, herbal and Korean, and the cost is more expensive. It's more specialized. The general consumer in the United States likely doesn't want or care about the fact that it's Korean or herbal, right? They're going to be brand loyal. They're going to
Hmm.
be price sensitive. They're going to be shopping for the color that they care about most, that that falls in the price point that they were looking to pay for that lipstick. So they're going to care about the reviews, they're going to care about the price, they're going to care about the color. They're not going to care
Okay.
that it's Korean or herbal or organic or whatever, usually at the same percentage, right? Some will care, but far more will care about the other things. So usually what you'll see is by far the best Korean seller might be on the first page for lipstick, the main keyword for lipstick. But there's 50 sellers or 40 sellers, but only the best seller, only the one that's winning that niche will be able to work their way up into that general keyword or category.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
same
I've
is
been
true.
noticing that.
So the same is true for the other niches that you mentioned. So there might be an herbal or an organic or, you know, whatever the women care about.
Right.
If it's a big enough sub niche, generally there's only one winner that'll make it. The same is true for like general keywords for gifts. So if you think about gifts for dad, right? Or gifts for mom. If you go to that page, you're going to see out of 40 results, 38 different products. One or two might be duplicated. And the reason is, in order to get to that generic page or that very general page, you have to be crushing it on all of the variation specific or very specific keywords. You need to be the best of the best at that type of product. Because your conversion rate is better, your click-through rate better, you're generating a lot of revenue. So,
Okay.
so you want to index for that general keyword in the beginning, but don't throw a bunch of money at it trying to rank, because if you're not performing as good as the best seller in that sub niche that's already on that page, you're never going to make your way near them. And therefore, they're always going to snipe the sales before you get there. Let's say they're number 12 on lipstick.
Brandon, do you think you can do an outside traffic and help on those gift keywords?
Yeah, you could probably prop it up for a period of time, but you need to legitimately earn your way there with performance on the other keywords. So you need to be genuinely crushing your click-through rate and conversion rate on all the long tail specific keywords.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
Right,
otherwise,
that's interesting. Yeah.
otherwise you're just going to fall off. Like the other ones that are actually genuinely outperforming you are just going to beat you over time. So all that money that you lit on fire to get there because it's expensive, with outside traffic, with UGC, with Google ads, with PPC, all of that'll just disappear overnight as soon as you turn it off. Because you just don't
Don't you
belong.
think sometimes people pick niches to get into because they see people crushing it, and then when upon further examination, there's like a lot of gift keywords that they're crushing it on. I have a client like that right now that they're like, why can't we sell as many as XYZ competitor? And then when you run a reverse ASIN, you see that the top keyword for the niche only has 7,000 search volume, but that top competitor has like top 10 indexing on all these gift keywords related to age group and gender.
Yeah, so that's exactly why we have the outlier bucket in data to show where are they getting their sales from. You have to answer that question. And then the next question is, can I duplicate that or compete with them on those keywords?
Well, that's one thing I asked Colin Raja about.
Right.
And just like, well, yeah, you can run a lot out. I mean, people were like, you can run a lot of outside traffic, but like that's got to be like a less than 1% conversion if you run gift for a 7-year-old to like a bracelet set or something on Amazon. Like what's your chances of converting with a Google ad for that?
And it doesn't transfer one-to-one anyway. Like when you run an ad on gifts for 7-year-olds, you're not getting credit on Amazon for gifts for 7-year-olds.
I understand that. You're getting
So
credit for just converting overall.
you would just have to write gifts for 7-year-olds in the title, in the beginning of your title, to try to maximize the credit you're getting when you make a sale.
Yeah.
And then really prioritize it. So you're really, really trying to push. Yeah, it's just going to disappear unless you legitimately deserve it, which is possible, right? Like you've got to do all the homework we teach you to do with product research, design research, and like use IntelliV, use PickFu, use those services. Make sure that you legitimately outperform them when you're next to them, and then you can push. But I would get my rank next to them on the long tail keywords and then make the push for the more generic is the bottom
But
line.
do you think that when you first launch and you have 0 reviews that you need to run those gift keywords and get clicks on them, even if you're not making sales, in order to establish relevancy to then go after them when you get 1,000 reviews down the road?
I don't think reviews are as like, I don't think you need 1,000 reviews. I think you just need to be outperforming them on, you need to start taking their market share on the long tail keywords is what you need to do.
Well, thanks, Brandon.
No problem. Good luck. Let us know how the launch goes.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
A. Who's A? Okay, it's A's turn. If you have your name as A and you have your hand up, I'm calling on you now. So you have to unmute.
Oh, I didn't realize my name is A. I thought I thought it's on my real name. My name is Sal Brandon. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Um, Very first question, when you're planning to come to the UK or Europe?
Yeah, so I'll be there in May, going to Seller Sessions Live with Danny McMillan. I'm hosting a
Oh, amazing.
workshop and speaking at the event. I think he has a few tickets left. He always sells out. So if you're planning on going, if anyone's watching and planning on going, grab your tickets now because he is serious. He won't increase the venue size.
All right. Could you please mention his name again so I can actually look at it?
Yeah, Danny McMillan, he runs the podcast Seller Sessions. It's one of the better Amazon podcasts. And the name of the event is Seller Sessions Live. It's in London in May.
Amazing. Thank you. My question is around books, where I'm kind of running back and forth with the Seller Central. Um, So I wrote this book back in, wrote book 5 years ago, and in 2018, I've been selling this on the high streets and the shops, etc., and through my website. And 2018, I created an account and then slept over it. The account was inactive. And then last year, around about September time, I thought, okay, why not utilize Amazon space for my book to go as far as it can. Now I realized that Seller Central guided me to get a trademark for the brand and everything, which I got in October last year. But once I went back into the account, I saw there are about 20 different sellers. One of them is Amazon as well, is on the listing. So since the listings were created before the trademark, is there a possibility to get those sellers off the listing or not?
Yeah, if you have your brand registry now, you can go in and remove them. You just need to go in and log into your brand registry. So it's brandregistry.amazon.com.
I've done that, and I've sent an initial infringement as well to the rest of the sellers choosing their ISBN properly, but then standard reply, no, we can't do anything about it.
Okay, so these sellers are presumably selling counterfeit products without your trademark, and so they're hurting Amazon sellers. Amazon has a policy with doing a test buy to confirm that it's counterfeit. So what you need to do,
Right.
if you control your supply chain, assuming that you control your supply chain, if it's a product that you distribute and these people could be selling legitimate products, it's different. But
All right.
assuming, assuming that it's a counterfeit, you need to be very aggressive. So you'll need to message them. You need to purchase the product from a third-party account. So not
Uh,
your seller account.
yeah.
Ideally not delivered to your address either, your business address either.
Right. Otherwise, the Amazon will
And
deem as that, I'm trying to kick out the competition for my benefit.
no, they allow it. So Amazon has a policy that allows you to do a test buy to prove that it's counterfeit. And if it turns out to be counterfeit, you submit the evidence and then they'll remove them.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then what I do is I do the purchase of a unit and then I message them and I say, hey, I just purchased per Amazon's policy. I just purchased this product
Yeah.
to prove that it's counterfeit. I know my supply chain. I own the brand. It's trademarked. And Amazon is going to remove your ability to sell on Amazon. And per their policy to protect Amazon buyers, Amazon's customers, I have the ability to purchase your products. And in the event, I'm letting you know now that I plan on purchasing more of your units and returning them in unsellable condition per their policy. So
Right.
you can get off the listing or you're going to lose a lot of money.
I see. I see.
And
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I've purchased dozens and hundreds of products in the past. And usually by the second or third message, when I'm buying 5 or 10 at a time, they start to get the point and then they run away.
All right. Amazing. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be very aggressive with these hijackers. They're called hijackers. And if you're not, then what they'll do is they'll multiply like they did. So they saw that no one did anything, and then more of them jumped on because they monitor each other's account. It might even be the same seller with 10 accounts. Lucas,
Hey Brandon, how are you?
good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm a new member on Seller System and I'm working to discover and launch my first product. And my question, I think, is very initial. So, for the first launch, do you consider do the first product with a lower budget, like 5 to 10K? Why am I asking that? Because on the one of the class that I watched, you mentioned then you lost one product, then you made with then you mentioned then you lose a product, then you made with the word Bluetooth, and you lost this product. And I'm kind of afraid to expend like 30,000 K, $30,000 in the first launch. And I would like maybe to start with a lower budget and to get
Yeah,
confident
I
and do
think
the
it's I think it's perfectly reasonable to walk the process with a cheap product that you're not expecting to make you 50 or $100, a day. Just to walk the entire process of, we try to give you a heads up and give you SOPs and so that you don't have any surprises, but you don't know what you don't know. And you want to do all the right tests and ask the right questions. And so walking that process with a cheaper product at first is fine.
Okay. And another question. So, do you consider for the first product, like hire someone to coach me, like, or something like that, or you think I just need to move forward and do the first product?
No, I think you move forward. I mean, you have all the resources you need in the inner circle. So you can watch the content, you can ask questions here, you can ask questions in the group. Do the onboarding into a mastermind as well. But if you ever
Mhm.
have any questions, don't you can ask 24 hours a day. There's members all over the world that are always awake at some point.
All right. Yeah, that is my question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. The entire point of me doing these calls, because I get asked all the time, do you do one-on-one? Do you do like my hourly is way too expensive and it doesn't make sense for either of us. I'd rather you ask the questions here, ask the questions in the group, get the support, and then spend that money on your product.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, let me just make another question. I watch a video, then a lady, she's an inner circle member, and she made her first product, and in her second product, she made a mold and everything like that, and she crushed on the product. She was doing really well. And do you do you consider like do something like that for the first product, or no, you think it's better just get a simple product from Alibaba, just make the trademark, brand register, and start like without mold?
So what you need to do is you need to walk the process of using the AI product brief, find out if there's an opportunity to improve the product based on features, benefits, whatever you can do to improve it, besides just design. Design, you should always change the design, whether it's printed, color, something. You don't want to do a Me Too product where you can have 10 people selling the same product. That's terrible. Don't do that.
Mm.
But what you can do is take that assumption that the AI tells you how to improve the product with the AI product brief, then go to IntelliV and ask a real audience, is that something they really want? Does it make a difference? Why wouldn't what IntelliV calls it as a drab study? It's basically telling you want people to tell you why that doesn't actually matter so that you can understand what the objections are. You need to find out what the objections are. If it comes back that people are like, yeah, I would actually love that feature or that change, right? And it's meaningful, then you might consider spending the money to do the mold or to add the accessory or to do whatever you need to do to customize it. But adding value in some capacity is really important. Improving the product and the design in some way is important. So I would do that even from the first small product that you do. You might find something super small and cheap that's mostly commoditized, but you come up with just a better design in AI, right? And then like if it's a printed design, you come up with something nicer somehow, and then you test it, it's doing well, then you actually get it made and printed with a better design, and then you launch it and it's successful. It could be that easy, right? But it takes work. You have to do all the testing along the way to make sure that you're not wasting your time and your money.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Shalom.
Hi, how are you? Pleasure to speak with you. It's first
Yeah,
time, and I've been a long time user.
awesome.
Okay, my question is regards to the new Amazon sort of rules changing your titles and all that. Is there any legitimacy to that at all, taking out duplicates and all that? Because I have a lot of clients asking me, hey, Amazon's telling me to change it. How do I sort of convince them not to keep the old system?
Yeah, so Amazon's algorithm does punish you if they see the same word more than twice, right? So you want to maximize having the same word twice if that word is a keyword itself that you want to rank for. So I'll give you an example. Toiletry bag, right? Now, the word bag, you're probably going to need 5 times in your title. Could be bathroom bag, shaving bag, toiletry bag, men's travel bag, right? Maybe Dop kit bag, probably just Dop kit. You're going to have it 5 times in your title. But so you've diluted the impact of the ability to rank on the word bag because you have it more than twice. After twice, you start to lose the ability to rank. It's a defense mechanism against Chinese sellers who cheated a long time ago and stuffed the listings with the same word over and over and over again because Amazon's algorithm used to actually give you credit. So what they did is they wrote into the algorithm a defense mechanism to reduce your credit if you do that instead. So that's why that's in there. So it's a legitimate thing that you should rewrite it to avoid stuffing your listing. But like I said, you're not trying to rank for the word bag. You're trying to rank for toiletry bag, for men's bag, for bathroom bag, for shaving bag, right? You're trying to rank for those specific keywords that have bag in them.
Right.
So then that's okay. Then you're going to use bag several times. But if it's toiletry bag for men, toiletry bag, travel bag, hanging toiletry bag for men, you don't want that in your title 3 times because
Okay.
you're trying to rank for toiletry bag.
That makes a lot of sense because sometimes the AI doubles up on a lot of keywords within the system, and I'm just it's like shower, tub, shower. So I was confused on that, and obviously Amazon is telling me cut it out type of thing. Stop repeating. My next quick question is in regards to variations. If I have, let's just say, a list of 180 keywords, should I divide all my keywords between all my variations, try to maximize every single exact phrase with all my variations, or just stick to what I really feel is important and grow from there, or use the back end instead? Is there any value in spreading it out? But then I'll lose value on some of the keywords that are losing some of the bigger keywords because they're not in my title for some of the variations. So my question is, when I have a variation product with 180 listings.
So we had this question earlier. It's very similar. So the purpose of putting a keyword in your title is to maximize rank potential of that keyword, but there's a couple things you need to keep in mind. The first is the point of putting it in your title is that every single variation has its own ranking, right? Every ASIN has its own keyword ranking.
Right.
You don't want the pink one to show up on some keywords as the hero because it's less likely to get clicks and less likely to get sales. You still want the hero, which could be the black one, to show up on all the keywords, right? So the only keywords that I would prioritize in the title of the variations are the variation specific keywords where those keywords you do want that one to show up and it is more likely to get sales and clicks.
So what should for the lesser variations, what do I do with the titles? Just keep them small?
No, you would say like pink toiletry bag and toiletry bag for women, right?
And make sure the exact match campaigns are actually producing those and not the other ones, obviously.
And your broad have keyword plus pink as like See, you're only targeting PPC for variation specific keywords.
Okay. And my autos, because I dump a lot in autos and I see which one have the best click-through rates, and then I turn off the ones that don't eventually have the good click-through rate. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So only go after the specific
Having
ones.
autos on your variations, you could end up diluting the hero. So you don't want to do that either, I don't think. But
Well, I keep it at a much lower bid in general. I just
Oh.
like what the auto picks up. I find the algorithm of Amazon is pretty good at times.
Yeah.
And so you could,
That's
no, I'm saying like sometimes I feel like if there's a lack of an auto, you're missing a lot that you just simply, I don't launch right away. I follow your system, but after a short period of time, I like to have the autos to see what it picks up.
Amazon or PPC is all about testing. So don't ever just try to only follow a playbook. Try it. If it doesn't work, you revert. If it works, then you figured out something cool.
Okay, so don't double up.
It doesn't always work for the same, for every product is different. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I just had my team turn on an auto campaign for variation, and it's performing well. And I was surprised by that. But my hunch is that variation could be its own hero, which is why I was like, I'm considering tearing the listing apart.
Oh wow. Okay, I think I had one final question, but I just brain silenced me for a second there because you said so much there. The question is like this, some of my main keywords when I launch, I don't perform well. I turn on my exacts, I don't perform well. So I'll launch, let's just say, with 6 colors at first. I make sure the product gets good reviews, and then let's just say, triple up to like 18 to 20 colors, right? I know when I have 18 to 20 colors, my conversion rates for the main hero keywords will do better. But my system already told me, you have 30 clicks, you had 1 sale, the ACOS is horrible. Would you go, once you have the full listing and the full variations, once you went full blast, do you go ahead and try again with those keywords on the same campaign or start a new campaign?
You can. I mean, if your performance is that poor, then there might be some content issues. So I would invest more in content there because
in what sense?
But yeah, trying again later is always fine too, because there are different factors like number of reviews coming in,
right. Well, and I find that just
small bump in conversion rate from those other variations could make a huge difference. So
no,
yeah,
I find that it does. So like, if I let's just say selling a rubber duck, but I only have the yellow one, there's still purple and pinks and blues that will help you convert on rubber duck. Let's just say 40% of the market wants the pink and the blues and the yellow and the oranges or whatever. So once I have the other colors, I find my conversion rate jumps pretty high.
Right.
My question is, should I retest those main keywords? Let's just say for plain rubber duck.
Of course.
Or
Yeah,
start a new
of course. Go back. Of course. Go back and try them again. Yeah, for sure.
And restart a campaign, or just go back to the old campaign that didn't perform well?
If it didn't perform well, I would start a new campaign because you're not losing any you're fighting against
You're not losing any history, right? And you're not losing any history either way. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're hurting yourself because you have negative history, right?
Right. Okay. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Brandon.
No problem.
Bye.
All right. Levi, you're going to be next, but I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. This is going to be a longer call because it's open to the public. We have a lot of hands up. So I need 3 minutes to go to the little boy's bathroom.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you then.
All right. Even if it's brand registered. They are all Amazon's listings. It's their sandbox, their bat, their ball, their field. You don't own anything. That's true. How's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Cool. So what's the latest?
So I had a question about the pricing. So the strike through pricing. I see some products that, have never sold at their list price or are sold for the, first 3 days of their, 2-year listing, and yet they still get to have the strike through price of, double what the price is actually regularly selling for. Is there a way to actually create that from the beginning, setting it to where you're more likely to get a just permanent strike through price that's, 40% off or whatever?
Yeah, so you lost your strikeout price?
I mean, some of my products get it, some of them don't. Is there a way to engineer like a guaranteed your product will almost always have a 45% strike through price, even if you always sell it at, let's say, $10, but you just
So the
list it at
45 is a higher percentage than I've seen them allow lately. Like
Yeah.
it's very high. I've even seen them like preemptively say 17% lower than it typically sells for,
Yeah.
which is a pain in the ass too. So the only way is to kind of like make a couple sales at the higher price, which can be expensive. You got to run some ads and really push it through.
Okay.
And then start lower the price to the price you want, add a coupon. Maybe you put the bigger price with a coupon.
Yeah.
That'll work. And then you start lowering the price. Once the strikeout goes away, you have to lower that MSRP a little bit and then lower the price and then kind of step it down. It's really the only way that I've seen is just kind of like play within the realm of what they deem as the maximum percentage that they're willing to give you based on the history.
Okay. And would you recommend, like, sometimes I feel like people will bump the price back up and then drop it back down so that they're getting like 1 week on, 1 week off of the price then, or I don't know, it seems like some people just get it and they're just lucky with it and they don't have to do much and they just get it kind of indefinitely. But so, and what exact percent would you try to say to target then? Is that like, is 30%? If you want to, if you want to sell it at whatever price, then
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
usually happy with sub 30%. I think that that's kind of limit because Amazon was sued for this a long time ago, like a few years back.
okay.
That's why they police it.
Okay, so shoot for selling a few units at the max of the MSRP and then set the above, so 30% above what you actually plan to sell the product for on a regular basis, set the MSRP and sell some units, and then hopefully going forward you get that somewhat regularly.
Yeah, and then step it down.
And oh, you're saying change the MSRP as you go down?
No, you can start to lower your selling price, get that strike price, start and then put the sale price and then step the sale price down. And
Okay.
then if the strikeout disappears, you need to lower the MSRP.
Now, you say sale price. Do you mean the actual listing price or the sale price? Because those are both different things as well, then. You can have sale price.
You can't have a strike price without a sale price.
It has to be the sale, not the actual, because you have your, right. Am I right in thinking that you have your MSRP price, you have a sale price, and you have a listing price?
Correct. Yeah, you have an MSRP, you have a listing, and then you have a sale price.
Okay.
So the strikeout is from the sale to the MSRP.
Oh, okay.
And so you always need the sale price in order to get a strikeout.
So is it standard procedure to just have an indefinite sale price then of what you want rather than just the regular listing price?
Yeah, you 100% all the time should have a sale price. This is what you're asking?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think
So and the sale price I usually keep a little bit below the listing price, and then the listing price is below. You have to have like MSRP listing price.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I should do that for every product I have, add a sale price with basically a super long end date if I just don't want to touch it and do
Correct.
anything rather than just the your price.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's more likely to get some kind of a deal with based on the
Yeah,
MSRP.
yeah. Otherwise, I've never seen you get a strikeout without having a sale price going. So I think it's mandatory.
Okay, that's super helpful. The other quick question, I'm going through the product launch stuff now as a refresher because I'm about to launch another product.
Sure.
I'm guessing most of that's current then. Is there stuff that hasn't, that's kind of gone out of style, like the honeymoon period and refreshing some of that, or anything of those that's sort of changed up dramatically, or is most of that still pretty current?
All right, I would watch the latest PPC class. We have another one coming up shortly as well. So between the launch and the PPC class from 2023, you should be good to go. And then I'd say in the next few weeks we'll have a new PPC masterclass coming out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate your comments then. This is great.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Take care.
Good luck. All right. Dahlia.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's funny because the questions before kind of are connected to mine. One thing is, I've been a seller for a while, but our categories get hit really hard with Chinese sellers, and I mean hard. Like they'll take our product, duplicate it, and somehow or another just like remove us from our ranking. I'm not really sure what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, it just feels like a burnout at this point. Like keep doing the same steps. So I'm like, what's a good program that you have that I can just kind of go back and watch and repeat that's like new information? I know you just said it, but I wasn't sure what course it is, or is it on YouTube from the data dive? Just because, I feel like I just need a refresher.
Yeah, so the what on what particular topic?
All of it at this point. Like even so like the PPC to launch
Yeah.
strategy, because like even what you were saying right now about the pricing, even if we launch something and we get people to buy it at the max price and then we do a sale price, it's not even doing a strike. It's like I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
the gap can be too much, and then you have to kind of just like keep lowering the MSRP till you get the strike.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll
so
try.
like that's why like we just I try to get the sailor to, and then if that gap is more than 25 or 30%, I've noticed that it's almost
Okay,
impossible to get it. Yeah.
okay, and then stuff like say on data dive, when I plug in our listing, it'll say like for keywords, it should be ranking at the top two or the top one, but it's just not doing that well, like indexing for keywords. We just keep losing ranking. It's like as though they take our position and just like put us back like 10 spots. Or Amazon has been doing this thing where they tell us they're switching our inventory to another warehouse, and then they'll duplicate our listing or buy out somebody else's listing and then compete with us, and then our delivery date will be like 3-4 days after their listings.
It's really weird.
And I've talked to Amazon directly. Like I went to headquarters, talked to them, and they were very help. They're like, we don't understand what's going on. Your listing should be doing amazing. And then I told them what Amazon was doing, and they're like, oh, that's wild. And then they ghosted me.
Yeah. I think that it can be competitor issues, maybe. Maybe someone is filing and doing something and messing with you.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is some form of attack, because that's not
Oh,
normal. That's not normal.
okay. I didn't
I
even
would
think.
also check your subcategories aren't changing. Check your back end, make sure there's no forbidden
Yeah.
keywords. Uh,
Oh, forbidden keywords?
yeah, sometimes they'll do a contribution to a listing. Sometimes in other marketplaces too. So like they'll open up your product for sale in Canada and then use a flat file to
Uh-huh.
contribute a random forbidden keyword to um or a keyword that they know will change what Amazon thinks you're selling to a random column in Canada. The only way around that is that you have to do a uh full update. Try
Uh-huh.
to fill in every column yourself because you have a higher authority for contribution to the listing than they do.
Oh, wow. Shoot.
And then if
Okay.
you fill in every column yourself, then it'll override whatever they did. And if you leave it blank, it'll delete what they did too, because it's a full update. So don't leave anything blank that you want in there too. But
Okay.
That
That gives me a lot
it still
more.
keeps it open for them to contribute if you delete it and don't contribute something yourself. So even if
Okay.
you don't have an answer to something, you just put NA or something.
Oh, okay. And then was there something about like an Amazon AI optimization that happened back in like October that kind of
Yes, it was really very, very bad.
yeah. Yeah.
So if that could have been why you saw a dip too.
Uh-huh.
You need to go to your product detail edit page. So you go to inventory, go to edit, and then when you go to the title, where the title would be, right underneath the title, there was a checkbox on some subcategories, but not all of them, that if you had it checked, you were giving permission to Amazon to A/B test using AI.
Okay, and does it say AI optimization at that check, or what does it say?
It says something like that. It's like you're giving Amazon permission to try to optimize your content and your title, like do testing. I don't know
Oh,
if it specifically says AI, but you want
okay.
that unchecked.
Okay, it's right under the title edit.
Yeah, it's right under the title on the back end and edit.
Okay, and
If
then
you don't have it there, then you need to open a case through brand registry and request that your listing contribution level. There's a whole thread about it in the inner circle where there's this specific language.
how do I get that?
Can tag you. Can someone tag Dahlia on that listing? Maybe Marlene.
And where does that show up?
That was in the inner circle.
Um,
In the
and
Facebook group.
okay. And then another question is, so for a couple of our listings, that we have a lot of color variation, is it good to put, say, the color in the title at the more at the beginning or at the end? Because I've only done that for like a couple, but now hearing this conversation, I'm wondering if I should add it for more of the child license. Um, yeah, would it be better to put it like, say, if it's like the main keyword
I just
phrase?
found it. I just found it and tagged you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Brent.
Oh, you're not in the group.
I'm not in Facebook.
You're not on the Facebook group. You're an inner circle member, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can just grab the thread here.
I feel like I
Uh,
need to study your stuff again first.
Well, there's a lot more content in the like once you join. There's like 200 hours of content.
Oh, really? In the Facebook group?
Well, in when you join the inner circle, you get access like 200 hours of content.
Okay.
Let me see.
And that's updated stuff, like in the last year?
Yeah, because we keep updating it. So we do, a few classes every single month that it just replaces the old content. This was shared by Mo. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. This is this was shared by somebody else. So this message is too long. I'll break this into 2 steps.
Thank you.
Step 5 and then step 6 through 9. All right. That's one way. The other is to request. So let me see the other way. So you have to remove the winning contribution is what it's called. Colin did a video or a post about it as well. This is an inner circle video, so you can't see that.
A quick video, Brandon, and
Sorry. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about this in the group to like get everyone fixed. Mo was able to get his back after not being able to do it for like a month, but he got it done within like 24 hours because of the steps. Let's see. Okay, that SOP that I put there should cover it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it gives me a lot to think about. Okay, so for the color, adding colors to the title, should I put in at the end of the title or try if it's child ASINs or
Yeah, I try to put it in the beginning so you get maximum rank potential.
okay. And then last
If you
question.
you want that one to really show up for that keyword. You don't care if that variation is 27th for the main keyword that your hero is 8th, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to show up on 27 anyway. It's kind of just like a backup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it used to show up. It's just like it's just we're getting our handed. We're getting our ass handed to us by
I moved
China
away from
right
a
now.
lot of those. I moved away from a lot of those subcategory like
We're
products.
trying. We're working on that. We're working on US based products at this point. It's been rough. But so
Oh.
another last one that we have is we have an existing listing that I finally just launched. I removed the child ASINs and from another ad that's like a similar product but different mold, and then created a new set of ads for it. And it is supposedly performing horribly, and no conversions yet. Sales are up. So I know not to rely on ACOS and it's more of tacos, but like how bad has it been lately with the Amazon data? Is it completely off or should I actually take it seriously?
This is a great question for a couple of the PPC experts in the space, like that are in here. Like, oh, did they both leave already? They both have ADD. Yeah, they're gone. I don't think it could be that bad, right? Like, so what is it? What else changed besides like, are you tracking your keywords?
In data dive, not yet. But
Yeah.
overall, like in just in the new set of ads, it's just like it shows that it's not converting at barely at all, like one sale or two sales. But I know that it's increased BSR and there are more sales. So I know that in the past, if I'd shut down
What
a
happened to the
keyword
keyword
ad,
ranks with those on those keywords or related keywords?
say that again.
What happened to the rank of the keywords? Like
I need
those,
to look it up. I need to
yeah.
input it. Yeah.
So from now on, like your SOP is I guess your goal with PPC should be push organic keywords in the right direction.
What do
And
you
then
mean?
so like for our team, what we do is we give a like KPI of organic impressions and an organic clicks.
Mhm.
Meaning they spend money with PPC, but their goal is organic.
Yeah.
So the way that you can measure that is through by looking at the organic keyword ranks and your impression share of your ads. And if your spend is effective, then your tacos should go down even if your ACOS is high, like you said, right?
Yeah.
But the what you would see there is that your organic rank moved in the right direction.
So don't obsess about ACOS because it could be completely off. Yeah.
Profitability is important, but you have to think long-term profitability. If that keyword's moving in the right direction, then you're doing a good job.
Okay, and that would be in the data dive software, right? You have to input it in there, plug it in.
Yeah, you have to go to Rank Radar, and then make sure you're signed up there. There's a really big difference too. So like if you look here, this is Rank Radar with your PPC plugged in. So you can really see all the data together.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just have just your Rank Radar, like just tracking keywords or routes,
Mm-hmm.
you can track at the root level, then you can see, you know, what's happening and see if you have any issues with any specific routes. Like
Okay.
this one here would have me concerned. It's a really big one. I'm only in the 30s on average. And these other ones are pretty good. And these are great. But why is this one significantly worse? So I have some issues there, right? Relevancy is lower, which is an indicator. But this is, you know, and then but there's only so much information you can get from that. Where it starts to help you is when you really start to understand what am I doing from a PPC standpoint? Where am I spending money?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is my conversion rate?
What is a good healthy click-through rate and conversion rate?
So it depends on the type of product it is. If it's, you'll see here that even with good conversion rates,
Hmm.
I'm still below 1%.
Yeah. So is a
Uh,
good conversion rate like 15% and above, 20%, 10% and above, or it really does depend on each category?
yeah, so a product that has a lot of design elements that's very fashion oriented, sub 10% conversion might be good. Something that is cheaper with some design elements, but mostly standard, your teens up to 20, 25 will be good. A fully commoditized product where it's super cheap, almost all the designs are the same, convert, and it's, 40 to 60% could be the conversion rate target. So it really ranges very, very heavily.
Yeah, that does. Okay.
Yeah, so like if you were trying to sell a lamp at $150, your conversion rate is going to be like 6%.
Yeah. Okay. So the best place to start kind of refreshing would be I've been watching the data dive on YouTube, but you're saying join Inner Circle and
Yeah,
review the videos.
yeah, and you should get a discount. So
Yeah.
uh
The team's great, by the way. I've talked to a couple of the guys who demoed. They're great.
yeah, I appreciate that. So if you had a call with somebody, but Marlene, you want to make a code for everyone on the call? $1,500 off, like half price.
Until when? The next 24
Uh,
hours?
you can give everyone a few days until the end of the month. Maybe some people watch the replay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer. The value's there.
Yeah, appreciate
It'll it'll be good to have you in the group, and then you get free tickets to live events. Are you going to Prosper?
No, I didn't make plans for it.
So we have a code to get you a free access to the expo, which has all the sponsors.
Okay.
And then we have a Top Golf party that's normally like $100, and it's
It's in
free.
Austin?
Huh?
Is it in Austin?
It's in Vegas. Where are you out of?
I'm in California. I'm in Laguna Beach, but okay, so it's in Vegas.
Oh, so you're right there anyway. Like you can hop on the jet service.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do
They
that
have
right now.
they
They
have
took
they
my
have
they
they
they,
have a
they
jet service, and it's only a few $100 round trip. It's
uh,
like it's literally cheaper than it goes out of Burbank instead of out of
no,
LAX.
I'm in Laguna Beach, not LA.
Oh, okay.
I like ran away from LA.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
And having to go to LAX is a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. I will look into it. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of friends that'll be there.
It's massive. And the Top Golf party that we do gets 450 to 500 people at it. It's massive. We take the whole floor. It's few hours and lots of networking. You'll meet a lot of really cool people there if you end up coming out.
Amazing. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
Eric, what's up, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, good. And you, Brandon?
Good. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, I saw you last time in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me a quick question. Do you know? I have a patent in China, but I have no idea how to enforce it. Do you have any clue, like any tip about that?
Uh, so what was the question?
I have a patent for my product in China,
Right.
and I really don't know how to enforce it. I spoke with a few lawyers there, but they look so confused. I don't know, it's weird. So I don't know, did you have any experience of that?
So do you want to enforce it in China, or do you want to
Yes.
try to get it patented over here?
No, I want to enforce it there because I don't know. So I have a feeling that's have a one factor that's doing the whole a
Let
bunch
me
of
put you in touch with somebody. Give me 1 second. Um, I'll give you this. Contact Hilton Hart with that email. Ask him if they do any enforcement in China for patent infringement.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And then let me give you one other person. Okay. His name is actually in the. This is Joseph Kuo. You can ask Joe if he does anything in China as well. They might have partners there. That's a big firm that I use. And then Hilton Hart I use as a firm. They do monitoring and policing of listings. And if they find anyone that is infringing, they file a lawsuit for you. So
Have you done this process? Do you know how does it work?
yeah, I have over 200 lawsuits currently pending through them.
Wow.
Let me move this. Yeah, I have over 200 lawsuits currently pending.
Awesome. All right, that's it. Thanks so much again.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Chad, how's it going?
Hey Brandon, how's it going?
Good.
I had a quick question. I've been in the Amazon space for some time. Now I consult for a few brands, kind of running their Amazon from A to
Oh,
Z.
nice.
Yeah, I have this reoccurring issue that I'm struggling to fix. It's a paid to organic sales ratio issue. So I've been scaling these brands mostly because I've been getting more efficient with my ACOS. But the tacos that I'm struggling to get lowered, which will allow me to scale spend further because of this paid to sell ratio, paid to organic ratio is too high. Talking about high 50s, low 60s in terms of paid to organic sales. So I think the what you were just showing, the rank radar is probably a good place to start, but wanted to get a sense from you on, what strategies or where would you start to try to, fix this ratio to allow for more scaled spend and more paid sales in the future.
So, yeah, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So, for example, I'm scaling a few brands. They have like a 29% ACOS, but they have like an 18% tacos because 60% of their sales is coming from paid. So that tacos is okay, but in order for me to continue growing and investing more PPC dollars, I can't do it until I fix this paid to organic ratio, because I'm basically at my tacos threshold now. So any thoughts on strategies on where would you attack first to try to improve this ratio?
Yeah, that's exactly why we built the view that we have currently in the keyword tracker, is because you're going to identify the opportunities of where to spend more and less. You'll be able to dial it in, and you'll know pretty quickly. Are you using the rank radar?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay. Let's get you onboarded on that, because I'll just show you. If you look here, this is so this would be the route is up here. I would know that this route is good, but my average impression share is low. You'll see that a lot of these keywords on the top 3, my conversion rate is pretty relative to the rank, but this one I'm 17 with a better conversion rate than I'm averaging.
Right.
You'll see here that I'm only impression rank number 4. This would be where I want to spend more money, right? And then this would be where I want to spend less money. So you basically go route by route, keyword by keyword, and you optimize one route at a time.
Got it.
And you're going to find areas of opportunity to improve, but it goes in like a very, very specific order. It's fixed conversion rate. So see if there's opportunity there for new main images, new content that would increase your conversion rate in any way. That would naturally improve the organic ranks, naturally lower A costs, and allow you to spend more effectively, right? So step one is content refresh with lots of testing, A/B testing, using IntelliV, using PickFu, and
Right.
really good designs.
On
Step
this,
two is fix indexing.
yep,
So if you see this here,
yep,
this one, like these three roots, there's an issue.
right,
So I need to address the indexing of these three roots, whatever that word is, right?
right.
And then step three would be send more or less traffic at specific targets, usually focusing on a route,
Got it.
because the traffic, the impact of your spend will be amplified.
Brandon, do you mind going back to that first screen that you shared?
Yeah.
I think there's maybe one other one.
Oh, this is with the keywords, yeah, the keyword level.
Yeah. So about halfway down the page, there is a rank of 5 and an ACOS of 60.89%. Where your cursor is right now, actually.
Here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, let me know if this is the right way to frame this in my mind.
Right.
We're ranking really well on this specific term, but our ACOS is 60%, which I'm assuming is probably not a profitable paid sale that we're getting here. But the organic is offsetting this, to
Correct.
which we don't really know how much organic is coming in to really know what the true tacos, I guess, of the specific route would be. So
Right.
how do you
So
how
one of my issues here is that I would be like, why am I not targeting this in exact?
right,
Can I get this to number 2 or number 1? And why do I have 17 different broad campaigns that are kind of hitting the same keyword, right?
right,
So I need to clean this up. I'm sure some of these broad campaigns are dragging this up, right? And this down. So once I go in and I investigate further, I'll be able to have less of these, turn off the worst ones. It'll naturally lower the cost, increase the conversion. I'll try and exact. I'll be more aggressive with phrase, right? So,
right.
and I'll be more aggressive with the broads that are working and less aggressive with the ones that are not. So this is a mess that is easily optimized.
Cool. This is awesome. No, I used Data Dive last year. I used to work at one of the aggregators, but I think it was before this was released. And I used to create like a Excel version based on Helium 10 of something similar that was very similar, but like a disaster to update. So thank you so much for launching this. I'm definitely gonna dig in here.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm glad. If you do want a full like coaching session on it for free, you can, Anthony's on the call. Yeah, he just jumped back on. You can, I think it's datadive.tools/demo, and you'll get a call with Anthony or Bryant or one of our other coaches. And there's no charge.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Good luck, man. Yeah, so this was fun. I'm glad that we got a nice diverse group today. A lot of great questions. So there's a lot going on, a lot of changes that we're making. Some improvements that we're making. You can very shortly, I'd say in the next few weeks, I can't give you an exact release date, but you'll be able to add in keywords to the rank tracker as well. Instead of only pulling from your dive, you'll be able to insert whatever keywords you want. That's coming in the next few weeks, which is an update that was widely requested. PPC automation is coming, Usman. This is the foundation, and then beta will be like Q3 is the goal, and then maybe Q4. So we'll probably have a closed beta in Q3 and then a wider release in Q4 for PPC tools. Yeah. Guys, thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or anyone on the team or send an email. Happy to help. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next week in Vegas.